Good evening. Please stand as you're able and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the Board of Trustees meeting for the School Tennis Speedway for June 13th, 2023. We're working from a 13-item agenda tonight, and the first item is to approve the minutes of the May 9th, 2023 meeting.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the minutes from the May 9th meeting.
Thank you.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the minutes? No? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Passes 5-0.
Minutes are signed.
Thank you. The second item is an update on the curricular materials fee.
Thank you, Mr. President. As of about 6 hours ago, we got the most updated information from our council and from other organizations in Indiana. Recently, legislation passed that curricular material fees would be waived by school corporations. We still haven't gotten all the guidance from the Department of Education, but this time, I guess I'm happy to announce that all fees will be waived for this year for Speedway schools at zero. So unless we get other guidance from the Department of Education, this following year, Holly, 23-24 school year, all of our curricular material fees will be waived at zero. So I think that's good news for our patrons and our students and families here in Speedway.
Thank you very much. Is there any questions on the update? All right, very good. Item number 3 is to approve the agreement for nursing services and sports medicine services.
Mr. President, every 3 years, and school board, we have to go out for proposals, and this year we had to go out for nursing and for our sports medicine services. We've been with Shalom Federal Health Care Center for many, many years, and we've been with sports medicine services for the last 2 rotations. So after all the proposals came back, the lowest and most responsive proposal was Shalom again for an annual expense of $220,000. St. Vincent was at $380,436. So I'm happy about Shalom at $220,000. And then Select Physical Therapy, it's a 3-year deal with increments at $55,000 year 1, $56,650, and $58,350 for the 3rd year. So those 2 were the most responsive and the lowest bid, and my recommendation is to approve both those contracts.
I'll make a motion that we approve Shalom Federal Healthcare Center as our nursing services contract and Select Physical Therapy as our sports medicine services contract.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on these? Okay. All in favor of approving the agreement for nursing services and sports medicine services, please raise your hand. All those opposed? That passes 5-0. Item number 4 is the special education contracted services.
Ms. McIntosh is with us tonight here, so if you have any questions specifically, we can ask her. But I'd like to recommend that we have, well, first of all, we have many different contracted services throughout special education. In traditional public schools, we educate all kids who ever live in Speedway that walk in our doors, we educate them. And that doesn't matter what type of needs they have, we find a way to service them pretty much across the board. So with this, 5 years ago, we didn't have near as many contracted services, and now to the point where we do have students with needs, and we service those students. So with this, I'm going to go through this list of 6 different services as one, and then we can ask Andrea if we have any questions after this. But I recommend for our blind and low vision services with Paula Bernstein, our occupational therapy with Bethany Spencer, Katrina Michael, Anita McAfee, our physical therapy, Michelle Goldhammer, our deaf, hard, and hearing, Rebecca Hyde, our behavioral consultant, Megan Schaefer, and our speech language pathologist, Diane Bennett. Do you have anything to add to that?
Sure. I guess I would just add that right now we feel super fortunate that we have longevity with some individual contractors, and that's a testament to every piece, I think, of Speedway schools. A lot of school districts are having to use some third-party contracting services right now, which isn't bad, but having these individual contractors has led us to having really strong relationships with each of these people, and also it eliminates kind of a go-between. So they're working directly with us, and they're all very invested in Speedway schools. So the proposed contractors that Kyle stated, there are some other contracted service quotes that I know you have in your packet, so you can review other options, but by and large, our list are really dedicated individuals to Speedway schools and also the most affordable option.
And each of these individuals that we're recommending here could go on to other places and make more money,
Yeah.
which is a testament to you that they want to work through you. They want to work with our principals and our teachers. I think that's something that needs to be said, because there's options for everybody nowadays, and these people can go other places, and they choose us too. So
Yeah.
anyway, I appreciate all the work that you did for this information. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I move that we approve the special education contracted services.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving the special education contracted services, please raise your hand. Opposed? Passes. And thank you again for all your work to make sure that that relationship is so positive for our students. So, item number 5 is institutional memberships.
Mr. President, this is a routine recommendation, but I do have a story to tell after. So the recommendation is to continue our annual institution membership in the CIESC, the consortium of the School Networking, Greater Speedway Area Chamber of Commerce, Indiana Association of College Admissions Counseling, Indiana Association of Public School Superintendents, Indiana Association of School Business Officials, Indiana Cooperative Library Service Authority, Indiana National School Boards Association, Indiana Urban Schools Association, Indiana Association of Small Rural Schools, South Central Study Council, and the Alliance for Marion County School. I will be honest, when I started 4 or 5 years ago, I had to do a little research what they all did, because that seems like a lot. But after this last legislation session, 4 of these are the reason the night before, from the House to the Senate, that we increased our funding from about 4% to about 6.8% for Speedway schools. And this is where no one wants to talk about, but these are the people behind scenes that have respect with our legislators that are making a lot of policies for us. With saying that, today I heard 52 new laws for schools. Now, I've only done this for about 25 years or so, but 52 seems like a lot. Last year, we were like about the same. So they keep adding to that 3-ring binder of how many laws. But these people are in a lot of different areas, and I say that, and I just wanted to let you know they are very beneficial, and they do fight for us throughout the year, and especially the legislation on a long session. So my recommendation is approve the institutional memberships.
I'll move that we approve the institutional membership that were listed.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the institutional memberships? Okay. All those in favor of approving the institutional memberships, please raise your hand. Opposed? That passes 5-0. Item number 6 is the 2023-2024 employment contracts for homeschool advisors, graduation coach, and nurse.
Thank you. This is another routine that we do typically in June. The recommendation is to increase the annual salaries of the following positions of $2,000, which would be our school nurse in the high school, which we provide, Kenna Allison at $57,206. Graduation coach, Tyra Borum at $60,006. Homeschool advisor, Deb June, $54,216. Homeschool advisor, Lauren Ashley Doyle, to $53,000, and homeschool advisor Don McGuire, $53,000. Now, if you see there's only 3 because we haven't got to the recommendations to the personnel report where our 4th one will fall in, so I wanted to wait and do that in sequence. So my recommendation is to approve this, and this is the beginning of our raises for next year. So 2,000 is where we typically are at.
I move that we approve the 23-24 employment contracts for homeschool advisors, graduation coach, and nurse.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving the 2023-2024 employment contracts for homeschool advisors, graduation coach, and nurse, please indicate by raising your hand. Those opposed? That passes 5-0. Item number 7 is the facility condition assessment.
Thank you. We have been using Lancer BB Associates. It's now Lancer Associates for the last 5 years, from safety projects to the safety doors. And we've reached out to them, and they do a facility condition assessment, which I think is needed for our corporation. This group will come in over the next couple months, and they'll look at all of our facilities from the high school, the junior high, the 3 elementaries, our athletic facilities, and basically they're going to gather all the information, and it's going to take some time, and they're going to put their input and their expertise in it to kind of lay out some ideas. And then at that point in time, we'll come back as a board and then create our strategic plan of creating a strategic plan of how we want to make this look for the next, in the short term, middle term, long term. For them to do this entire service is such a deal of $7,500. Again, this will take probably 2 to 3 months. I'm looking at September is the earliest, probably October meeting before they can come in to start laying things out. But this is, our brand new building. As I said, a lot of the referendum meetings are brand new buildings, 1963. And it just seems like today, every time we turn around, there's another $20,000 problem. So our people do a phenomenal job, and I'll just take this time to thank Brian Kiefer and his team, Lou Grimes, J.D. Clampett, and everybody that works. I think our facilities, thank you for the rain. Looks pretty green, pretty good for what we have. So, but anyway, back to this facility condition assessment. That's my recommendation, that we move forward on this, and we'll bring back information and do it together.
Thank you.
So,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Okay. I move that we approve the facility condition assessment contract.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
So before we make any final decisions on plans and projects, would there be a public meeting and discussion around that?
We would create a strategic plan for the strategic plan with
Got it.
people, community members and whatnot.
Okay.
So nothing will be done unless it's in a public meeting, such as a board meeting with, you guys have the final authority over it all. So it's going to take it's going to be a lot of time. And that was the other thing I put in my notes, that we're getting ready to walk down to some work here to see what we need to do. But this, again, it's everything from air conditioners, the roofs, the windows, parking lots. It's not just one sample from one person. It's going to be the entire corporation.
That's great. All those in favor of approving the facility condition assessment, please indicate by raising your hand. Opposed? That passes 5-0. Item number 8 is to present the budget development calendar for 2024.
This has changed over the years, but the capital asset plan, because we are Speedway, and the town council will be the final round of where we take our budget, will be in August. Believe it or not, Speedway is one of the first schools to come out of the gates of July 1st that has to get their stuff done. So congratulations to that. We're number one again and something else. But it adds a little pressure to us. We will be doing this, I'll present the capital asset plan to the board on July 11th, which is our next school board meeting after moratorium week, that Tuesday. Nancy Johnson will go through to put all the notices out. And then Tuesday, August 8th, that's a quick meeting. August 1st is a Tuesday, which means we're the second Tuesday, so it's a quick meeting there. August 8th, we'll conduct our public hearing on capital asset plan, because we present it twice, and then we'll sign that resolution. Also on July 11th, I'll present the general budget with the parameters, and it's all from the ADM on the amount of students are in our corporation. So we're in a negotiation here too, just to let the board know that I'm not planning on jumping anywhere till we see the kids. And Mr. Disney has guaranteed 1,860 kids, right?
I hope.
Maybe 1850, okay. So we'll see where we're at on that. Just let everybody know that we're in the 1840s to start August last year, and we dropped down to 1815 by the second count day. So that's real, and that's what we deal with, that many kids coming in and out. And just think about that on our teachers. But the budget is also developed from a number that we have to predict then 6 months, 12 months, and 16, and further out than that. So we've done a great job the last few years, and hopefully we'll continue to do a good job. But that is, just to let everybody know again, it's July 11th, this is capital asset plan, and then August 8th will be our public hearing, and then we'll also talk about the budget and present that information. August in 2023, Town Council has 3 dates, and that's typically when I'll come and do our presentation when they assign me to a certain date.
Okay,
So that's our calendar.
Great.
Budget. Yep.
thank you.
I think you have to-
Item number 9 is the return to in-person instruction plan.
Our return to instruction plan, or that masks are optional for all Speedway staff members and students, period. So if you guys can remember, I could catch that on this. This used to be about 8 pages long. We've had the same one for a couple years here, but by the U.S. Department of Education regulations, they require us to do this every 6 months, right, Andrea? 6 months. And so we want to stay in date. We changed the dates to make everybody know that we're continuing to practice what we've been doing the last few years coming out of COVID. So that's return to in-person instruction plan.
Great.
It's also posted on our website.
And this is something that does require our vote to approve, correct?
Yes. As she's shaking her head, yes. Let's go ahead and vote yes on that, please.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the return to an in-person instruction plan.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions, discussions on that? No? Okay. All those in favor of approving the return to in-person instruction plan, please indicate by raising your hand. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Item number 10 is to acknowledge the grants that we've received. That is a total of $542,285.84. Thank you. Item number 11 is the personnel report.
We have several items for your consideration on the personnel report for this June. Begin by Amy England, a custodian, was dismissed from her position. Resignations of their position is Dan Maple is a teacher at Speedway Junior High and in the PE department. He also resigned his position as assistant athletic director at Speedway High School. And if you remember, Dan was named the high school athletic director last board meeting. Michelle Brooks is a teacher at Allison Elementary. Lindsay Austin, who is administrative assistant for exceptional learners. Juice Mary Espina, a cafeteria worker, 6-hour position at Speedway High School. Those were the resignations. We've been very busy with employment these past 30 days. Employment recommendations are Andrea Lakin for Director of Special Education, Olivia Cravens as an elementary teacher, Steve Stocker to move from his athletic director's position to the assistant athletic director position at Speedway High School, Marcus McCormick as the physical education teacher and athletic director at Speedway Junior High School, Emily Salmon as the homeschool advisor at Newby Elementary, David Garrett is an 8th grade girls basketball coach. Ryan Noblet is the 8th grade assistant football coach. Eric DeVault is a 7th grade head football coach. Emma Cooper is a girls basketball assistant coach at Speedway High School. And Lauren Molson is the assistant cheer coach at Speedway High School. The following people as volunteer coaches. And a volunteer coach is a person that comes volunteers their time. They are not paid, but they are always supervised by a varsity coach, never left alone with one of our student athletes, but they definitely help us with our programs. Caleb Owens is a varsity football coach. Joel Magnabosco with varsity football. Sean Harold with varsity football. Tamina Gibson in the weight room. Carter Giacconi in the weight room. And Marvin Germany in the weight room. In your packet is the extracurricular positions. And it's a time of year where we bring in a lot of extracurricular activity ECA recommendations to the board for your approval. If on that, in that document in your board packet, if it's an existing employee is new to a position, in other words, a person is going to go to a new ECA position, they're listed on the extra duty in blue. They're already an employee of ours and they're moved to another position, they're in blue. If someone is being recommended as a new employee for the corporation, I've just presented them and they will be in green on your extra duty listing. So with that, I would ask that you approve the personnel report as presented.
Board's pleasure.
Sure. I move to approve the personnel report as written.
Thank you.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the personnel report as presented. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving the personnel report, please indicate by raising your hand. Opposed?
Thank you for all your work on that. I know this is a busy, busy time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
It is nice to see some familiar names from our schools coming back to volunteer, but they clearly care about their schools. So.
It is. It is.
Item number 12 is recognition of visitors and other business. Yes.
I think I have three things,
Okay.
since I've talked a lot tonight. The first one is, it's a pleasure for when people come back and we do interviews and they compliment the interview table on what we've done. So the principals, Andrea and John, I've gotten a lot of feedback from people, and just thank you two, and the principals that spent, I don't know, a couple of days of 6 hours each interviewing people. We do vet and we do interview, and people want to be in Speedway, and that's just kind of a cool thing. And I'm just proud of our team, proud of our school corporation for that. Number two, I want to say thank you to the board and congratulations. You guys are 4-time repeats, exemplary status with the ISBA, and no one's has ever done that before. So it's the highest award you can get for a school board. As we attend fall conferences, spring conferences, attend meetings, we do all the little things during the year and on the agenda items. So congratulations for that. Not that you guys want to pat it on the back, but congratulations that 4 years in a row of exemplary. Finally, I'd like to say that we're moving a step more in the direction of some communication. We are working with the principals right now. It's not pretty yet, but we're going to have all the school events on the standpoint of parent input and communication will be all on the website of the dates of school improvement plans, of back to school nights, of times that parents can come and give input on things. I want to make sure that we have multiple dates that people can go to their individual schools and know that process. So that's coming up, and that'll be on our website as we've improved our website. We're now a year in. I know we've worked on that for years to get it to a place, and we are now there for that. We have Parent Square now. It's only been a year, and we're getting better at that. And we'll keep trying. We'll keep doing better and making sure that people get information and where to go if they have input. So anyway, I thank you for your time, and this is another, I guess, a school year, as July will start, I guess, my 5th year here. So thank you for another wonderful year. Thank you, Mr. Disney. Thank you, Ms. McIntosh. Thank you, Holly, for being here. So, anyway, that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. President.
Anything else? Anybody else? Wonderful. Well, we will adjourn to approve claims. Thank you.